going to turn out? Yes, they passed it. The House initially came out with deep cuts, slammed it over to the Senate. The Senate literally added additional cuts that were even worse than the House's initial cuts. Then they passed it back to the House. The House said, okay, but this still has ginormous deficits. Maybe we won't vote for it because you have the Tea Party contingency within the Republicans who are like supposed to be quote unquote deficit hawks. They're not, obviously. They turned around and they said they voted on it. So now it's going to go to Donald Trump's desk and he's going to sign it and he's going to make a big show of it. And every dumb guy, get ready for every moron whose parents are going to die, okay? Every stupid person that you know that is currently like tuning into like the Asmongold broadcast to be like, oh, what are the talking points? Like every single person whose grandparents rely on Medicaid for long-term nursing home care, for example, like their grandparents now have to, I guess, do additional paperwork once a month. And if they don't, they're kicked off that coverage. And what happens then? What happens to people that don't have Medicaid? It's already an insane process to qualify for this stuff. There are chatters in here who qualify for it. Good luck to the rural hospitals that rely on Medicaid to actually stay afloat, because all of the people that live in these areas, these red areas that voted for Donald Trump, that, you know, are on Medicaid, but they don't realize that they're on Medicaid because every state has a different name for it. That's the other side of the story. People don't even realize that they're on Medicaid. They think, oh, I don't have Medicaid. I have, like, you know, Arkansas Care or whatever the is called, right? So they, in their minds, they think, oh, that's a totally separate thing. I'm fine. It's like, no, dude, you're cooked. You're cooked. 3 Democrats who died this year would have sunk Trump's big, beautiful bill. The deaths of Jerry Connolly, Sylvester Turnell, Raul Grijalva, and their impact on Trump's sprawling spending plan have reignited fears about an aging Democratic Party. President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill spending squeaked through the House on Thursday morning in a 2015 and 2014 vote. 2 Republicans, Thomas Massie and Warren Davison, voted against it. GOP Rep Andy Harris of Maryland, chair of the hardline House Freedom Caucus, voted present, and 2 other Republican reps. All the House Democrats voted against Trump's sprawling spending plan, but they were missing 3 congressmen who could have sunk the bill. Bill's passage Thursday, just a day before the vote, the family of Representative Jerry Connolly confirmed the Virginia Democrat had died at age 75. Weeks after announcing his esophageal cancer had returned, Connolly had first revealed his diagnosis shortly after winning re-election last November. His passage was the 3rd in a string of Democrat deaths in the House over the past 3 months, following the deaths of Representative Sylvester Turner, 70, Representative Raul Grijalva, 77 in March. Had all 3 been alive and voting as expected, the bill would have failed by a vote of 217 versus 215. Now, of course, in that process, would the Freedom Caucus actually play ball? Most likely. Of course, other factors come into play when imagining a scenario where Connolly, Turner, and Grijalva were still present for Thursday's vote. In the frantic days leading up to the vote, several House Republicans threatened to oppose the bill over issues like the state and local tax deduction cap, only to ultimately fall in line. It's impossible to say whether Massie, Davison, and Harris would have still withheld support if they didn't believe the bill could prevail without them. Still, Connolly's death has reignited concerns about the Democratic Party being run by a gerontocracy with few signs of the generational change needed, wake of the party's crushing defeat in the 2024 election. Fitzpatrick and Massie were the only no votes. This is when the bill was first passing, for the record. This is when the bill first passed the House of Representatives and made its way to Senate. How many Republicans have died? Evil never dies. Or I guess evil only dies if they're on the Democratic side, okay? But yeah, it's passed. It's over. The new agenda, the mega bill, is now in motion. Now, there are a lot of unique things that the Republicans did that a Democratic Party could potentially take advantage of, but I'm holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath on waiting for the Democrats to take advantage of that. A new calculation trick that they implemented was the idea that the pre-existing tax cuts that were supposed to expire should not be factored into the deficit and should be made permanent. That was the new math that they decided to apply, which is just bullshit. Okay, that's not how this works, obviously. There's a reason why those tax cuts are calculated in the way in 10-year increments. That is because they have to pass the CBO estimations, and they also have to pass a budget reconciliation, a more rigid analysis that budget reconciliation has. And that's the reason why they sunset those. That's the reason why tax cuts are slated to sunset. And now they've made that permanent with a simple vote in the Senate. They just rammed it through. They were like, this technically doesn't impact the deficit because it's already pre-existing tax cuts. The filibuster obviously is a silly tool that doesn't work because you have the budget reconciliation that was the modus operandi in the past multiple administrations at this point, because it's the only way you can get a majority vote to win, to pass. And in spite of all of it, in spite of it all, they did it. They did the damn thing. Trump was able to whip the votes. ICE is going to go ham this weekend 100%. Oh, for sure. You are not aware of the Dems game? Yeah, he did it, dude. He did the dang thing. My goat. This is called sex appeal, okay? Ladies, look away. You are not going to be able to pay attention to politics any longer because I'm showing you the sexiest man in Congress. A big badass over here. Yes, and also, of course, some of the Republicans that went no turned yes because they got assurances about future promises down the line. It's bullshit. They were going to do that anyway. There was never a point where they were not voting on this, okay? Please, make no mistake. It's the same as Lisa Murkowski. Oh, Lisa Murkowski is very concerned. She's a moderate after all. She cares about Alaska. What happened? They always fall in line. You know who never falls in line? The goddamn Democrats, dude. The Democrats. They never fall in line. Democrats have comprehensive agenda items. They have all of these things that they promise during the campaign trail, during the election cycle. And then when push comes to shove, when they actually have to act, Kyrsten Sinema, Joe Manchin, Maggie Hassan, there are a million Democratic senators and Democratic congresspersons that love to play the role of a spoiler. Republicans do not have this same predicament. Maybe they have Massey and they have Rand, okay? They have Rand Paul in the Senate and Thomas Massey in the House of Representatives, but that's pretty much it. All of the other stuff is just a back and forth, like a little bit of drama. Just remember that. A Dem takes office, it takes them 4 years to pass the We Love You bill, which grants a one-time $1,200 loan to black small business owners. Every time a Republican is in office, day one, they pass all the encompassing nasty motherfucker act that kills every living thing on God's green earth. It's true. We hate you and we're going to kill you act passes in record speed time. Okay. It's every single time Republicans come into office. It's like, we hate you and we're going to shoot you in the head act. And it's like the act itself is, we hate you. We're going to shoot you in the head. Melt the working poor legislation passes in alarming speed. Okay. You've never seen it. It gives you whiplash. Republican voters, when Trump introduces the you, I hope you starve and die bill. That's it. That's where we're at every single dang time, by the way. This is how it always goes. This is how it always is. Did it pass? Yes, it did. It did pass. Okay, it did pass. At least I got the tax cuts though. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely. Me and Ma and Pa in the trailer park, we are going to be cooking with this new tax cut. Thank God. Thank God. Oh, also, now I don't have health care because I have to literally check in once a month with the federal government or with my state government to tell them that I'm actually working. And the entire purpose of this paperwork is literally so I don't get that health care, by the way. Make no mistake. That is the whole purpose of this. The whole purpose of this bill, like the way that the insidious way that they cut Medicaid is by basically making you check in. Okay. And then they're like, oh, sorry, look at this paperwork. It says that, it says that your coverage lapsed because your paperwork was wrong. You wrote your name wrong. Oops. Bye-bye. Don't die. Okay. Once again, 2/3 of people on Medicaid are already working. Okay. 2/3 of people on Medicaid are already working. The idea that like this is to get them out, get them off their asses and go out to work is bull. It was never real. It's just to make the people that are already working on Medicaid get off Medicaid by putting paperwork in front of them, unnecessary paperwork in front of them. And then when people that rely on this kind of healthcare coverage see that this healthcare coverage is failing, government healthcare is failing, the Republicans turn around and go, notice how socialism is killing you? That's right. This socialist healthcare is killing you, right? So much paperwork. Doesn't it suck? We should take more of this away. We should take more of it away. And then those guys go, hell yeah, you're right. My government healthcare does suck. I hate socialism. You're so right. Also, can we kill some fucking trans people on the side too? That'll make me feel really good. My grandpa can't verify his identity with insurance by himself without my grandma's help. Half the time it gets denied because she's helping him too much. How do they expect people to do this multiple times a year? Every month, chatter. Every month. They don't. That's the whole point. They don't. They know that you won't be able to keep up with this. They know that many people are not going to be able to abide by these restrictions. And that's the whole point. That's why they get to say, oh, we're not cutting Medicaid, while they absolutely are cutting Medicaid. Adding any sort of additional hurdle in front of Medicaid recipients is going to cut Medicaid. And then you know what they're going to do? They've done this before. They've done this a million times. Bill Clinton did this. Bill Clinton did this with welfare reform. Democrats have done this in the past as well. Then they turn around and go, see, so many people are off Medicaid. It feels like we're making real progress here. Less people are relying on Medicaid than ever before. That seems awesome. That seems like America is now more prosperous than ever before. It's like, no, dude, it's because you kicked them off. They still need it. They just can't get it now. You kick them off. That's it. That's literally the whole point here. If your grandparents are on Medicare and you think they're covered, but they're in a nursing home, they're not, because Medicaid actually is what helps them pay for long-term care. If you're working though, why wouldn't you get your health care from your job? Great question, chatter. Oh my God, what a incredible question. I wonder why. Maybe because some jobs don't offer healthcare, and especially the jobs that don't offer healthcare are probably very low-paying jobs, so low that you can actually qualify for Medicaid. Have you thought about that? What if you got a part-time job? What if you're doing gig economy work? The only game in town now. Think. What about Medicaid fraud? Yeah, exactly. Medicaid fraud. That's the other thing. The way these guys talk about Medicaid, you would think that Medicaid was actually just like paying poor people to sit at home and eat chips and play Call of Duty. That's not how this works. It's just healthcare, you animal. That's all this is. There is no like scheme here. Okay. I saw so many Republicans be like, I even joked about this as well, saying like, oh, lol, this is like Asmongold's fan base or whatever. But like, I saw so many Republicans be like, oh, people are no longer going to be able to sit at home and play video games in their mommy's basement. They have to get a job. It's like, dude, that's not how this works. Like, Medicaid is not a payment plan for unemployed people. It's just healthcare, you demon. You have it when you got your dick shot off at the congressional baseball game. You got premium healthcare so they could sew your back onto your pants, Steve Scalise. That happened for you. Why? Because you're a congressperson, so you have platinum healthcare. Yeah, me and the boys used to pound beers, play Halo, and use our taxpayer funded healthcare to get colonoscopies. The good old days.